And right now, let's bring in Pat Pagano and tell him about our exciting weather in our area yesterday, and it continued most of the day, as a matter of fact.
How exciting was it?
Very exciting. The wind just decided not to really let off until late in the afternoon.
Right.
So I left my house, as we all know of my story. The generator was going. It was going since 20 minutes after 1 o'clock. Got here to work, did work, headed home, got there, and as I walked in the door, Heidi, who watches my dogs and walks my dogs and stuff like that, said that the power just came back on. So it was great, So then she leaves, and I give our dog and the cats all their treats. I make a salad for myself, and I sit down and I'm going to watch one of my shows, home improvement shows.
And the power goes out.
And I sit down, and boom, the power goes out again. Now, I have a generator, so that was fine. It came back on. And obviously, the power disruption wasn't the way the cable came, because internet service was fine. But I was able to watch it. But then the power didn't come back on till somewhere around 3:30, 4 o'clock. And it was still cold enough yesterday and windy enough during the afternoon where it just didn't feel like it didn't feel warm. And, there was a lot of power outages, Pat. A lot of trees came down. I was surprised because there's not that many limbs there's nothing on the trees anymore, and they made it through the winter, you know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
I was surprised to see so many trees in so many different locations down.
Well, I know on the Cape, winds gusted between 70 and 78 miles an hour.
We didn't get anything like that, but I want to tell you, probably upwards of 40, 45.
Oh,
Easily. And
easily.
yeah. So, So anyways, well, nature did a lot of tree clearing yesterday, so probably saved towns a lot of money.
And now we have a respite as far as the wind goes, and it gets a little milder today, partly sunny, mid-40s. Tonight another front comes by, 25 to 30, and we bring up the wind tomorrow, partly sunny, 35 to 40. More wind, sun and patchy clouds, mid-30s Friday. And it looks like Saturday and Sunday. Originally, I thought low 40s, but now it looks to me like it'll be partly cloudy, and the temperatures will stay in the 30s Saturday and Sunday, but no precipitation.
Now, the wind that's coming tomorrow and on Friday, it's not going to be like we had, right?
Well, the wind tomorrow will probably be like 15 to 25,
Okay.
and then on Friday it'll be stronger than that. So we could have gusts on Friday up to 40.
Power company's gonna love to hear that. they were out a lot yesterday. It wasn't that there were so many power outages. It just seemed like they were power outages that involved transformers, one in the middle of town, or else out in the middle of nowhere. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They were scattered all over the place. But it was. You would think that we had come through a major winter storm in Salisbury, anyways. Some towns didn't have any trees at all.
Right, right. Yeah, well, and you have to remember that prior to the wind yesterday, we did have rain that softened the ground.
Yeah.
So, that's the other thing. But, yeah, it's typical March. What can I tell you, folks? This is March. March and April are the windy months for us. There's no doubt about that. And no storms down the pike, so that's a good thing. And everything else is quiet. I got news yesterday that my friend Donna, who I know since I was a teenager, she's in the hospital with COVID. And she is obviously, she's not married. She has she's divorced. Her sister is her only sibling. And unfortunately, right now, her sister is battling ovarian cancer. So it's a real tough situation down there. She has two little dogs. They are Shih Tzus, and I don't know who's taking care of them. But I know Donna, as I said, a long, long time. She was never one to even go to a doctor. I mean, there were so many times that she felt absolutely sick as could be, and I would say, well, you really have to go to a doctor. Yeah. Never did. So for her, to actually call her cousin and ask to bring her to urgent care, she must have been really sick, and then urgent care told her that she needs to get to the hospital. She was having what tipped it off is she was having trouble breathing. But prior to that, she had absolutely no energy at all. All last week, my sister tells me that she was complaining of no energy at all. And I heard it took everything in her power to just even try to get dressed. So, I'm going to pray that everything goes good there. But I have no idea who's taking care of the dogs. I said to my sister, well, maybe you can go over and take care of the dogs. She says, I will not. I said, why? She said she lives on the 5th floor in an apartment building, and she never went out. She had her food delivered. So how did she get this COVID? She's probably through the elevator and taking the dogs out, 2-3 times a day. I said, oh, she said, so even if I would have walked the stair, she said, I'm not going in the building. She says, I have no idea how many people in that building could have it. And now I know that her apartment, she lived in the apartment, and that could be contaminated. She says, so I won't do it. I said, well, I hope somebody takes care of the dogs. That's my other worry. So I'm worried about Donna in the hospital and the 2 little dogs.
Well, she worries too much. First of all, if the apartment sits empty for a couple of days, the droplets, if you sneeze or anything, go away. They go away. They don't stay forever. That's the first thing. Second of all, if you take an elevator and you wear, let's say you want to really be overprotective, wear
your gloves and mask.
Yeah, wear all that, and go from there. Well, I hope everything works out for her. I'm the way they treat COVID-19, they've learned so much in the past year that
Right.
the outcomes are far, far, far better than they used to be. Far
Correct.
better than they used to be. One thing great about getting the shot is that, first of all, they take your temperature, and if it was normal, and then you don't have any signs of COVID, so you get the shot, and mentally I feel better. I don't know physically whether it's going to work. You know what I don't know whether it's going to work or not, but I feel better that I got the shot.
Right.
Just psychologically, I feel better, and I don't feel safer. I feel better for some reason, and I don't know if it's going to work on me or not. I'll get my second shot, but I feel better. So mind-wise, power of thought-wise, getting the shot is better. It works because it eases your thought process, whether or not the shot works or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, it's psychological, mind over matter.
Well,
Yeah.
maybe we should advertise for somebody for the dogs, because how old are the dogs?
I think one is, let's see, one is 7, and the other one I think is 5.
So they're laid now. They're set for a way they live. Somebody's got to take care of those dogs.
Right.
I'm sure Donna would be very upset not knowing that anybody's taking care of her dogs.
Right. I think her cousin Debbie said she would take care of them. I'm not sure because I only heard this last night. So, and I haven't heard anything so far this morning. But you know how it is when somebody's in the hospital with COVID now. There's such a lack of communication.
Well, I hope I get on her friends if you can, and make sure that the dogs are taken care of.
Yeah.
Gosh, that's horrible. That's just horrible. I see all the time I look at animal rescue sites, and animals that pairs of animals that have to be once again, people have to adopt them because their owners passed away of COVID.
Right.
And it's and these animals are so set in their way of having a family and things, procedures that they go through. It's really traumatic on them. So I hope somebody, I learned that with Emma. Emma was, when I adopted Emma, she was alone for about 3 months. Somebody would come every couple of days and feed her. But in the winter, she developed a fear of snowplows going by. You know what I mean? They develop these things that aren't good. And it's taken her years, and she knows when a snowplow is going to go by before it's even in sight.
Isn't that because she hears it way
away? Yeah. So, and that's the only thing that she has now. Now she's out all the time, sitting on my lap, sitting with it. But when it comes to that affected her so much.
Wow.
So anyway.
Isn't that amazing? Yeah, it's it's a very stressful world right
Yeah.
now that we live in. There's no doubt about it.
But you know what? There's less stress. And the more the vaccine comes out and the more people don't see mean tweets and stuff like that, there is less stress on a daily basis.
Yeah, and President Biden has promised almost every American to have a vaccination now by the end of May. So with the Johnson and Johnson vaccine. So I think that all of that is very positive. But I can't believe that there are some states, we don't have to name them, who are telling everybody you don't have to wear masks, and they're opening up all restaurants and everything 100%.
Well, God bless them. That's all you can say. I know I wouldn't go to those states.
I wouldn't either, and they better stay right where they are. Don't contaminate other states. If that's what you want to do, stay in your state, and you guys get sick.
I mean, even spring break was not spring break this year.
No.
Even that finally sunk into people. So, well, anyways. So, and we've got no bad precipitation right into next week, which is nice.
I'm sitting back enjoying this.
Well, I just hope we don't go through another windstorm. That's all.
Well, I don't think it'll be as bad as yesterday, but again, Friday looks to be the windy day. So we'll take another look at that tomorrow.
All right. Pat, have a great day and watch out for those dogs for me, all right?
I'll let you know what happens.
All right. Take care, Pat.
Bye-bye.
Pat Pagano this morning at the Weather Center with a check on the tri-state forecast.